your seatbelt on yet, unless are you able to reach it down there? Alright, sure you don't want a tissue or something?
I'm feeling I'm gonna throw up.
You want a bag?
Yes, please.
Alright. Shauna, can you grab like a bag out of there?
Honestly, I'm not a driver. No complaints tonight, though.
Hey, can you get like a bag just in case she gets nauseous? Yeah. I don't know, do we have any of those emesis bags like laying around the spot? I figure something better than nothing. Or here, if you stay with her, I'll go grab it.
Oh my god. What the
Kind of put it on the floor here, alright?
Okay.
A few paper towels on the floor here if you need it, alright?
Okay. Thank you.
So, after crying like a baby when she was found out, 30-year-old special education teacher and soccer coach Christina Formella is now trying to posture a defense after having been caught as being intimate with a 15-year-old schoolboy that she was tasked with teaching in the United States of America. Now, this case is already on my platform, and this particular episode is bringing an update because she thought she was going to put up a defense talking about this a one-time thing, and it was actually the student who was trying to set her up by taking her phone and sending such messages to himself. And you know, all those tears she put across, damsel in disguise. Personally, I'm not moved by these things anymore in my life, honestly, because I have this saying that it's not anyone who is crying that is necessarily a victim. So you need to look past the tears to preserve your objectivity. And guess what? I think the prosecutors and investigators share the same posture I have, because they did look past the tears and the loud-mouthed defenses that she was trying to put out together with her counsel, and they dug even deeper. And guess what they found? As of some few days ago, the charges have been transformed into something bigger than it originally was, because instead of a single charge that was persisting as she having been intimate with a teenage student, now, as it stands now, Christina Formella has now been hit with an additional 52 charges with regards to this case, bringing the total charges leveled against her to 53. And in case you are just chancing on this episode but haven't watched the initial episode that detailed out the entire case and the nuances therein, let me just give you a brief summary, but you can still go to the playlist and watch the full thing to fully get all the details. So Christina Formella, like I said, is a 30-year-old special education teacher and soccer coach in the United States of America, and she has been found out as having been intimate sexually with one of her teenage male students through to when she was dating her now husband, and even after she got married to him. And when she was arrested, she was actually in the company of her husband. You can see the arrest footage playing, and she was trying to play dumb and innocent when the arrest was ongoing, as if she didn't know she had done any evil thing that may warrant arrest when she's found out. But fast forward, she was brought to light and she was brought to speed by the authorities with regards to the specifics of why she's been arrested. And we are now where we are, where after crying like a baby when she realized she had been found out, Christina Formella is back in court trying to fight the case, posturing a defense that she was being set up by this guy and that this student of hers is not a victim and she is rather a victim of his manipulation because he took her phone and sent those messages authorities are now seeing and trying to implicate her as being unlawfully intimate with this student who is underage. And I think she thought she could beat it. But little did she know she was actually challenging the tenacity and determination of these prosecutors and security authorities, because they then even dug forward and deeper. And now they've leveled 52 charges against her. She now faces, and of these 252 charges, I'm breaking it down, she now faces 20 counts of criminal SA. I'm sure you know what I mean by SA. Because of YouTube graphic policy, I can't expand it. So I'll just say SA is really an abbreviation for S3x ABUSE. Yeah. So she's now facing 20 counts of criminal SA, 20 counts of aggravated criminal SA. That makes it 40. 6 counts of indecent solicitation of a child. That makes it 46. And then 6 counts of grooming, bringing it to a total of 52. Now, these 52 additional charges were added to the charges leveled against this 30-year-old Christina Formella after she has been arrested in March for having intimate relations with this 15-year-old male student of hers. And initially, the suspicion was that it's happened once, but it has been uncovered that she had been having intimate relations with this underage boy for over 40 times. And contrary to authorities thinking that it started when the boy was actually 14 years old, it turns out that it actually started when he was, they thought it started when he was 15 years old, but it turns out it actually started when this boy was just 14 years old. And it has lasted up until her arrest in March. But that it seemed to have come to an abrupt end in September of 2024. And she went to the point of even sending this guy texts with explicit messages when she was even in Italy getting married to her husband. Now, this is very key, the part about she sending messages from Italy, because she was actually, like I told you, putting up a defense that she didn't send those messages to the boy. It's her phone that sent it though, but she didn't type it. It was rather the boy who picked up her phone and typed those messages when he was being tutored by her. So in actual fact, she's saying that, okay, when I'm teaching him, he got access to my phone and he sent those messages to himself from my phone as a way of blackmailing me because he knows people will believe. It seemed like a defense she would sit on as a rock and die on. But now that authorities have dug deeper and found out that some of those messages were sent from Christina Formella's phone while she was actually not in the US but rather in Italy getting married to her husband, there is no way you could have now said that the messages were sent by this boy and he followed you to Italy. This finding literally shoots down that loophole that she was trying to play in. And it's really unfortunate that she's able to do this and want to even go on to resort to such shameful defenses and lies. The investigators have actually found thousands of messages. And it seems that she was really in love with this kid and wanted to even marry him, per what she said in some of her messages. And that she even went on to indicate that each encounter she had with this guy is in its own separate form a very special thing to her. And guess what? Christina Formella, beautiful as she is, it's likely her life may be over, because now with this 53 counts that have been hit against her, each count or each encounter is actually going to carry a separate felony which is worth 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. And do the maths. What do you think is going to happen if each of these felonies is carrying 5 years? And I'm sure they will tie it down to the number of times she actually got intimate, physically intimate with this person, and that's over 40 times. So we'll do the maths. She may end up going into prison for life, or even if she doesn't get a life sentence, I don't think she may get anything less than 20 years. And if that's the case, Christina Formella may be a senior citizen when she's finally done serving her term. And this is shameful. And guess what? In all this, her husband is seemingly standing by her and supporting her. There are people who are wondering why he's doing that. But I think these are early days. The trial is even yet to start. And I think that it's important we wait to see what he will do when the trial ends and a guilty verdict is granted. Because it's at that point when he would have seen everything, and now he would be informed to take an informed decision and action. And I don't think he will stick around, because per the research I found that even in one of the text message correspondence between Christina Formella and this teenage boy, she actually went on to tell the boy that she would want to leave her husband and take his millions from him. Now, if she can say that, it means that obviously she's not loyal. And she didn't even need to say that to prove her disloyalty, because what she's actually been accused with this teen is disloyal enough. But this statement from her also goes on to drive the point home, because you then see that she's somebody who is in for herself. And the way she broke down and cried, the defense she was putting up, I don't know, I'm no expert, but I'm seeing certain things about this woman. I think that she struggles so hard to push her in public to be something she privately isn't. I beg to differ, and I would respect it if you beg to differ, but we are in an era now where some people have perfected seemingly the art of pretending to be something they are not when they are in public, and in private they are something else they are ashamed to show in public. And I think that looking at the fact that she was doing this whilst even in a serious relationship, and even after she got married, I think she has convinced herself in her mind that she's on the right path. And also, I think that she has issues which she probably has hidden from a lot of people, because it got to a point in this disgusting relationship with this teenage boy where the boy actually threatened to leave her, and she was literally threatening and at a point sort of begging this boy to come back, talking about the fact that she would even leave her fiancé because he's cheating on her. You know, to look at the fact that this 30-year-old is doing this with a 14, 15, 16-year-old boy, it leaves the question begging, what did she think was going to be the end of this? And I don't know, but it's crazy. You can let me know what you think in the comment section. And this is not something that is unique or out of the ordinary, because right after this case, I'm publishing 2 extra cases similar to this, where one is also a counselor in a Catholic school. She's married with 3 kids, and she's doing the same thing with, I think, a 15-year-old boy. And then there's another one I'll publish where she is also a female teacher, and even in her case, she has had a kid with her 13-year-old student. This is a crazy dynamic that has come up, and I'm thinking that some of these women either have a split personality or some sort of personality they try so hard to hide from the public, because when the case comes out, people around them are always surprised because they talk about the fact that you wouldn't see anything about them in public or in the usual days that would make you think or even suspect that they could be capable of this. I think that I'm no expert, like I said, but I think some of these women are broken and they are looking for a way of controlling a man, and they can't control a full-grown man, so they would rather take a younger male who is young enough to be their son and even underaged, whom they can control and still satisfy their pleasures with. Yeah, more like a husband and a son in one package. If you look at Christina Formella's nasty chat, you see the boy calling her mom, and she calls the boy baby or babe. Yeah, it's so sickening, and I'm following the case to see how it ends. But what do you think could be the cause of these things? I have stated one possibility I'm suspecting, but I'll be happy to hear from all of you watching this video what you think could be the cause of this. And oh yes, if you're a parent, don't just trust your teachers. This is about a female teacher. In the usual trend of things, some of these things would have been usually suspected of male teachers, but now the dynamic is evolving. So don't just decide that, oh, my child's teacher is good, that is it. Please check with your kids, have conversations with your children. The next sex offender could be their teacher. The next pedophile could be their teacher. And I told you, in recent times, evil usually has a beautiful and a handsome face. Even if you decide to trust, verify. Do your due diligence. Get closer to your kids. Every time they come from school, engage them in conversations that elicit feedback from them on what goes on in their schools. Because I tell you, there are a lot of predators in schools. And this is not unique to the US because this case is particularly coming out of the US. It's a global thing. I tell you, and if you are watching from any part of the world, irrespective of your country, I'm sure at least you've had one of such instances in your country which you know of. You can let me know in the comment section if you agree with me or disagree with me. But hey, let's protect our children. Let's do our due diligence. Let's vet these people that we entrust our kids to at certain times of the day in our everyday lives. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.